having a good old poke around, but there is at least half an inch of thatch there, and that is the soil underneath. First things first, let's get the level back up. Okay, Father's Day, there you go. Hi guys, so I want to show you around this lawn. Now this is a reasonably new customer. We've only been once and we've had one treatment on, which has got rid of nearly all the weeds and it greened it up, but now obviously that fertiliser has worn out. She had a gardener who did a bit of scarifying, but the problem is he never scarified enough and it left patches like this. Now you might think, well, I can just give that a scratch and we're done, but if you look closely, watch this. You see how all of this is moving? That's the soil down there, and that is thatch. So that is sat on there like a thatched roof on a house that stops rain from getting in the house. That is sat on there. When it rains, it really struggles to get through, and when it's hot, it just evaporates. So these sections tend to die off if they're not scarified enough. And I've said this several times, when you're scarifying, you have to break through the thatch. You have to see the soil. You have to put grooves into the soil, just into the surface of the soil. You've got to be scratching it, because that will allow everything to breathe. It will allow air, rain and nutrients to get down through the layer and into the soil. I'm going to show you around the back as well, because there's a few other parts of this lawn I wanted to just go through and point out. So we will be doing a good scarify at some point, hopefully later on this year, but I may leave it till spring because we've got these trees. We may scarify in autumn just as a scarify, but I'm not going to do any seeding. So when it feels firm as you're walking on it, you do notice it. I'm walking now and it feels like I'm walking on almost a concrete path. But if I walk down there, it feels like I'm walking on a piece of foam. It feels spongy. You should try it. Walk on a path and then walk on the lawn. Close your eyes, get to feel what it feels like, so that you are sensing what is happening at your feet. And you can determine how much thatch is in the lawn. Okay? So, it's been scarified, like I say, by the last gardener. To be fair, it's took quite a bit out here, and it's taken a long time to recover because of the trees, and it hasn't had much water either. But in other places he hasn't taken much out, and he's thinned out the moss a little bit. But again, like that little patch there, just there, we've got that thatchy layer sat there. You've got to get that out. You've got to get that out. And if it's a big patch, you've got to seed and get the seeds to touch the soil. So as you would expect, all this top end here is under shade. So it is going to be thinner. It is going to be sparser, unless you can open the canopy up so we get sunlight at different times of the day. Now I'm going to take you around the back and I'm going to show you what's going off around there. So here, it's just the same old thing, really. As you first look, you would think that this is bare soil, but it is not. It is a layer of thatch. And I'm reaching down now in the hole and having a good old poke around, but there is at least half an inch of thatch there, and that is the soil underneath. Okay, so this does require some significant work in the patches. So she's had a go, she's aerated to try and improve things, but we need to get it all out, and we need to seed and top dress. But it's either got to be very, very early autumn to give it time to come through, or it has to move into spring next year. Anyway, I'll just take you round to the back. Okay. Absolutely beautiful place here. Some lovely places we get to go. We're very, very lucky. We're very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be able to come to places and work in gardens like this. So what we have, all this bottom section, they tried putting some fertiliser on and slightly burnt it, so it went brown, but it is starting to come back now from what it was. The odd bit of rain has helped considerably. So this I'm quite happy with. Don't think we need to do too much. Now this patch here, I did show the customer the amount of thatch in this patch, and what I've done is I've just pulled it all out with my fingers. So we're down to the soil now, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bit of fresh soil in out of the border with my spade. Just going to pile that in there. She's given me some seed. I'm just going to scatter the seeds on top, and then a thin layer of compost over the top, and then she's got to water it. So that's what we're going to do with that one. I'll just quickly show you around the rest of the garden. You can see in the shade there isn't as much evaporation because of the sun, cannot get through as much, so the grass retains water a little easier. So it's got a saving grace where it does tend to stay a bit greener where it is shadier. And the only other thing that the customer has occasionally are a few mushrooms dotted around, but I'm not too worried about that. It's just from all the old tree roots dying and decaying away. And we've got another patch here which he said, can you do something with that? So I'm just going to do that, the same thing with that. I'm going to use my Wolfgarten rake just to loosen the top layer, scatter some seeds, bit of compost on the top. So that's the plan. And other than that, today I'm just putting a normal feed and weed on this lawn. So I'm not going to show you the feed and weed because I do show you that on lots of videos, and I don't have my tripod with me today, so there's nowhere suitable unless I can find somewhere to lean my phone up. But it is just literally going up and down in strips, putting fertiliser down and spraying the weed killer. So that's the plan for today. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Now obviously I get to talk to the customers, and I always like to spend a bit of time with the customers and build a bit of rapport up and talk about the background, the history, and you know what they do for work and things like that, because it's interesting. So there you go. I'll leave that one with you. If you like I say, if you've got any questions, comments, please leave them down below. I'll see if I can get some footage now of me filling in one of these patches, and then you can copy that. The main point here is to keep watering regular. So we're all set up. I've just dug some soil out of the border. This is the customer's own seed. She has just a little bit left. So that is going to bring the level back up. Now I've already hand dug the stuff out, but you can use a garden fork or a little hand fork or a garden rake, or you can use one of these Wolfgarten scarify rakes. Okay, so what we're left with is just good old fresh soil, nice and loose. We've got some top dress in there. Now, I obviously use that company, and there is a discount code if you want any of that on my website, which will give you some money off. Anyway, so first things first, let's get the level back up. Okay, put a thin amount in, spread it around, crumble it all up, and it might look level, but you need to just press it down a little bit until you are just about the same level, maybe just a touch higher to give it time to settle. The other issue is there are some ants in here. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit more in. Check that little stone out. So it's a spadeful. Okay. So we need to scatter seed next. You see what my daughter got me? I don't know if you can see that. Father's Day. There you go. We have a little bit of seed in here. Rigby Taylor. Greensway. It's got some fancy names. So what we'll do, we'll just reach in, we'll have a little handful, and we'll just scatter. So each seed is maybe 1/2 centimetre apart, roughly. Something like that. And that is all that's needed. Okay. Then we take the compost. Now she had a bulk back here. This was her own, believe it or not, actually, after watching one of my videos. So we're just going for a thin layer. Maybe only a maximum of 1 centimetre. As long as the seeds are covered, it will stop the birds from getting to the seeds. But you don't want it too thick. And then just give everything a very gentle push down. Now, all the pressure's on you here to keep this watered well. Now, I don't mean a big heavy gush of water, I mean a nice gentle rain coming down 4 or 5 times a day in this heat. And this will start to push new shoots up quick, just a few days. So I'm going to do the same up there in that corner, and then I'm going to get on with my feed and weed. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. You learned something with every one. That is my aim, to try and teach you something with every video that I do. If not, a little bit of light-hearted entertainment. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget, thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you again. Take care.